Hello, everybody, and welcome into Cardinals Weekly. I'm Corey Miller.
And I'm Ahmad Hicks. Some mixed emotions from the Cardinals this past week, whether you saw them take a couple of games against the Brewers, in which you'd love to see, and then you saw them lay an egg against the Padres in San Diego. So a lot to get to. So we'll start with our weekly news segment leading off.
So, a lot of different things to cover this week, but let's get to some big news that we just heard about on Wednesday. We're getting a full Busch Stadium, Ahmad, and it's coming soon. June 14th, the Cardinals are going to full capacity. They're going to start selling tickets on May 27th for the rest of the season entirely. I am very excited, and the rest of St. Louis is excited for sure. What do you think that first Arenado home run with a full Busch Stadium is going to sound like?
Very loud. We're going to hear the fireworks from all the way in South City, St. Louis. You're going to hear a standing ovation, probably about 30 seconds plus when everybody gets in there. I think just everybody gets what's going on right now. I had a live shot outside of the Busch Stadium when the Cardinals played the Pirates on Tuesday, and a police officer turned to me and he said, what's going on right now? Like, why are there all these camera crews out here? Why are there so many people? I said, well, there's more people coming inside. And I said, they also don't have to wear a mask if they're inside. So if they're vaccinated, I said, this is a great time to be a Cardinals fan. I said, you can just feel the energy and the buzz surrounding Busch Stadium and the town right now.
Definitely going to be fun. And they're up in capacity even with this next weekend with the Cubs series, which I'm sure I'll talk about here in a little bit more, because that should be a fun one. Let's talk about the week that was for the Cardinals first. Nice series win in Milwaukee. Last week, I think we had at least one of those games to talk about in our Cardinals Weekly show. Felt like playoff games. They were all pretty intense. Good for the Cardinals to come out of that winning the series against, I think the Cubs are technically in second now, but the Brewers probably figured to be their biggest challenge in the Central the rest of the way.
I really think you talk about the biggest challengers in the Central. If we're being honest, I think the biggest challenger the Cardinals will have is the Cardinals themselves. If the Cardinals are doing what they're supposed to be doing, the bats are flying the way they're supposed to be flying, and our pitchers are going 6+ innings, I don't think there's a team in the NL Central that can slow them down, if we're being honest.
Also, a cool moment from that series that MLB shared a couple of days ago. They mic'd up Harrison Bader and Colton Wong for the entire game. They got some good stuff, as you'd expect. The best, though, was Arenado interacting with former Cardinal Colton Wong out at second base. Colton saying how much he loves St. Louis and how much they're going to love Arenado. That was a really fun moment that fans have just really eaten up in the last day or so.
Yeah, I was eating it up. As soon as I saw mic'd up Colton Wong and Harrison Bader, I was clicking the link all over it. I was like, I need this content all day long. But no, it's funny. I mean, you can still tell in Colton Wong's voice, he wants to be a St. Louis Cardinal. From crying at Busch Stadium in his first AB to talking to Nolan Arenado and asking that question about how St. Louis, like, oh, you're going to freaking love it, dude. Like, you can tell his heart is still here. It sucks that he had to leave. It's a business. We all understand. But you can tell Colton, he definitely wants to be around.
That'd be Tommy Edman is obviously doing fantastic, but think about that infield defense with Wong at second, Arenado at third, but Colton
that would be
Tommy,
Sports Center top 10 plays every freaking night.
Every night,
too, dude.
Wong pretty much every night would make some kind of play that would make you go, wow. We'll get to see it a lot on the other side with the Brewers this year. After that series, like you mentioned, disappointing sweep in San Diego. First time they got swept by the Padres since 2012. That 13-3 lopsided game in the mix there that maybe 5 people in St. Louis stayed up to watch Matt Carpenter pitch that night.
Are you serious? That's what he said.
I liked. Oh yeah, when Schill came out to put him in.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh man.
I liked it the next day, though. They had him on to talk, and they listed him as right-handed pitcher, second baseman, Matt Carpenter, available to the media. That was pretty funny. I mean, other than Carpenter pitching, which was funny, and Arenado starting a home run streak, not much great for the Cardinals. But let's talk about that Arenado hot streak right now. I mean, since the start of the Milwaukee series, through game 1 against this little 2-game set against the Pirates, he's hit at 429 with an OPS of 1.395. He's got a 4-homer streak and 7 RBIs. Not too bad.
That's what we wanted to see when the Cardinals announced that they were bringing him over. I mean, this is a guy who we all said before the season, some people were questioning if he was going to hit 30 home runs. He's quietly just silencing all those doubters right now, just saying, hey, just watch me play baseball. I love the game. I work really, really hard. And now you're seeing the fruits of my labor. And I think that's what we're all witnessing right now. And it's a joy to watch because now it's just like, all right, what's Nolan Arenado going to do? It kind of reminds me of like growing up and when we had Albert Pujols and that being must-see television, when Albert Pujols and the Cardinals were playing, you never wanted to miss in that bat because you never knew what he was going to do. I think it's the same with Nolan. You never know what he's going to do at the plate, and then you also want to watch the top half of the inning when he's playing defense because he's doing some phenomenal things with the letter this year.
Mod mentioning Albert Pujols setting us up for a little later here, but let's get back to that Padres series. One of the main reasons, maybe the main reason they got swept was walks, and more walks. 26 walks in the 3-game series. That's the most walks by the Cardinals in a 3-game series since 1900. 121 years ago, it took for this many walks by a team. Most walks in baseball right now by 12. Some guys have been good at getting out of it, like Alex Reyes. We've seen he's walked a lot of guys, but he struck out a lot of guys and has only allowed one earned run. Locking it down at the end. John Gant's been working out of a lot of jams as well, but that's just not a formula that can be consistent. And it came back to bite him in a big way over the weekend.
It's a recipe for losing baseball, Corey. You said 26 walks. Keep in mind, they only played 27 innings. Like, you can't be averaging a walk per inning, And John Gant, speaking of him, he had 27 walks before his start last night. So, I mean, that's just a lot. That's something that if you get to the postseason, they're going to kill you for. Like they're going to make you pay if you're walking batters and putting 2 ducks on the pond, with 0 outs or 1 out. So that's something that the Cardinals need to get corrected. Mike Schill said that he was going to take a psychological approach to his pitchers in addressing that matter because they know what needs to be done. They just have to go out there and execute. But I mean, you can't beat good baseball teams walking batters. And it's scary to even think about. These guys didn't have Fernando Tatis or Will Myers, and they still were able to clobber us in those 3 games. So if you're walking all those guys, then what in the world are you going to do when Tatis is up there with the bases juice? Like, you can't walk him too. So it's a problem they need to get addressed ASAP.
Had depleted Padres roster, like you mentioned, with a couple of their best players out from COVID, and still swept the Cardinals, which is not cause for a whole lot of optimism, but it's a long year and they've looked good elsewhere. I will say, though, those walks make for a very unpleasant viewing experience as well as a fan. Yeah. That's not what you want to. You don't want to see a 4.5 hour game, West Coast game that doesn't end till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, where everybody's walking everybody. So hopefully they get that cleaned up. We got to talk about injuries also because injuries and guys coming back because that's a big part of this week too. Tyler O'Neill to the IL, broken middle finger. Just a rough time for him to go to the injured list. He wasn't on fire, but he was doing pretty decent in May. How big is this, and who do you think is gonna fill in? We've seen Williams so far. Reviews have not been so great.
Man, I think we're looking at the roster, and you're saying, all right, what we have is what we have. Like, we have to make it do with what we have. And I think Tyler O'Neill going down. You said it, like you hit the nail on the head. He wasn't crushing it. His numbers weren't stellar, but this is a guy who was gaining confidence, and that's what you need. In this Major League Baseball game that they play nowadays, you have to have confidence going out there, and I think that's what he has. He knew that he was the starting left fielder. He knew he was going to get 4 at bats a game, and he was making do with those 4 ABs, and now it's kind of like, all right, we got Harrison Bader back. We had Tyler O'Neill rolling. Dylan Carlson was our guy in right. Now it's that Carousel back in the outfield. All right, who do we put out there? Justin Williams. Okay, well, he strikes out a lot, like a lot. I think I had a number that we pulled up earlier today at 37 Ks in 42 games. I mean, come on. Like, I know he's a guy that I think we all know he has the tools to be a good player in this league, but man, it just sucks right now to see Tyler O'Neill go down because it's still, you haven't had the full outfield unit together, for a consecutive amount of games or, for a long period of time where you can say like, hey, this is what we're going to get. We're still questioning what we're going to get from those 3. So it sucks to see him go down. And now the questions about who's going to step up on any given day just are back, just like the beginning of the season, unfortunately.
Feels even worse when you see Adolis Garcia with the Rangers completely going off and everybody talking about him now. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's not great either. Let's positive news though. Cardinals are getting some reinforcements back to that rotation. Finally
Yeah.
going to start getting healthy. Miles Michaelis coming back this week. Mike Schultz said against the Cubs. Looking probably that Saturday start against the Cubs. Looked good in the minors. He even hit himself a home run down there in one of his rehab starts. So Michaelis coming back should be a big boost to the rotation. And Carlos Martinez is going to come back as well against this Cubs series. So create some competition in that rotation. I think they're going to go with the 6-man for a little while. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they're going 6-man rotation for the next stretch of 17 games in 17 days. And I think that's obviously something that you have to do. But big boost. I don't know about that just yet with Michaelis. He hasn't really pitched competitively in the majors since 2019. So it's been a while for him. But I think, like you said, it creates competition. And competition is always a good thing in any professional sport that you play, because, it just says that you have to earn your spot in the rotation. And I think Tsunami is a guy that's not going quietly. He's like, look, I'm here to stay. Michaelis, he wants to be there. I'm sure he doesn't want to be a reliever. John Gann is like, yo, I'm posting some really good numbers. Like, why should I go to the bullpen right now? So I think it's a good question to have. Good problem to have if you're Mike Schilt. And it only makes your bullpen that much stronger when somebody does come back and get the boot out of the rotation. So good problem to have if you're the Cardinals, for sure.
At least gives them some options to choose from. Let's actually talk real quick. We'll get to Pujols, who you mentioned there, but let's talk about that Cubs series this weekend. I'm really excited for this series, even though, it's not two just juggernauts going at it or anything, but Cardinals Cubs always special, and we're going to get some more fans in the stands. I'm going on Saturday. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm going on Friday. I can't wait. The Cubs-Cardinals rivalry is always one of those things that's very interesting in St. Louis, because although we have that sea of red around Busch Stadium, there are a ton of Cubs fans that always show up for these games and wear that ugly royal blue like I'm wearing right now, unfortunately. But yeah, they always show up, and it brings out the best in the Cardinals, I feel like. And like you said, like you alluded to with the Brewers series, it's like playoff baseball. These teams don't want to lose to one another. Watching Anthony Rizzo and Javi Baez and, like Chris Bryant, those are just joys to watch, when you're watching the game. So it's a real treat that, we get them, especially on Sunday Night Baseball, national television game. Wayno's going to get the start for that one. So you always get pumped up for the Cardinals and Cubs, always.
Sunday Night Baseball, 2 weeks in a row for the Cardinals. Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully this one goes better than the last one. Let's talk Pujols here in our last little thing and leading off. Since our last episode, we knew the Angels had cut him, but we didn't know where he was going. Now we know he was staying in LA. He's not going anywhere, and he's already playing for the Dodgers. He got a base hit RBI single in his first game out there. It just doesn't look right though. Have you seen the pictures? Like number 55, 5 in blue. I'm like, this is not right.
No, for us, for a lot of fans, it doesn't look right. Albert Pujols in a different uniform, that always sucks to see. But honestly, he looks happy, Corey. And I think that's the most important thing to take away from this. While we're a little bitter in St. Louis that he's not donning the white and red with the Cardinals on a bat, he's still playing baseball. And what he wanted to do is play every day. And I don't think any Cardinal fan in their right mind would trade in Paul Goldschmidt for Albert Pujols right now. So I think you're just happy to see the guy continuing to play baseball. He's chasing some home run records, and we just root for him. Like we've been rooting for him in Los Angeles, and if they come to when they come to St. Louis later this year, we'll all be rooting for him to get another home run, and hopefully we win the game. But we'll still be rooting for Albert, although it looks extremely weird, like you noted.
It's a really interesting situation because all you heard was, he wants to go somewhere where he's gonna play. Well, the Dodgers are the most loaded team in baseball. They got a lot of injuries right now, so he's probably going to see some time right now. But when everybody's healthy, I don't really know where he's going to play. But I think this shows he wants to win, and I think he wants another World Series on that resume. And I think he went to the place where it's most likely to happen there. And I'm glad the Cardinals front office. I'm sure this was entertained, like they've said, and they definitely talked about it, but they didn't let the emotions outweigh what was best for the team. And I don't think this year adding Pujols was best for the team, but I think we might see it next year. That's a good.
I wouldn't rule it out next year. Yeah, he pulled a LeBron James and a Kevin Durant this year. He went and teamed up with some of the best players and the best team. And he's like, look, I'm ring chasing this year. We'll see if I can get one here, keep the house in LA, and then we'll try and end our career in St. Louis on a high note. I think that's what he's trying to do, and I honestly can't blame him. It's been a while since he's played in the World Series. It's been a while since he's played playoff baseball, a real competitive baseball that he was accustomed to here in St. Louis. So he's like, look, let me get back and get a feel for what it's like to play in October. Let me at least get a chance to compete for a ring while I still can. And then we'll worry about who I'm retiring with, what jersey I'll wear in Cooperstown and all that stuff at a later date.
So we're doing a red hot seat on this week's Cardinals Weekly, and usually Ahmad and I go head to head on that. But the talk of baseball right now is the White Sox and Tony La Russa and Yermin Mercedes, and so we're gonna just kind of pile on there and put Tony in the hypothetical hot seat here, and just kind of pile on because I know we're both on the same side of this. If you didn't see it, I don't know how because it's everywhere. That's all anybody's talking about in baseball right now. Yermin Mercedes, 28-year-old rookie who spent forever in the minor leagues, finally made it up, is having an amazing rookie season. He's leading baseball in average, I'm pretty sure, right now. He had a home run on a 3-0 pitch against a position player, Williams Astudillo of the Twins, when the White Sox were up by more than 10 runs late in the game. Okay, supposedly they put the take sign on because you don't want to show up the other team and all that kind of stuff. But it just keeps getting worse because Tony La Russa just keeps saying more dumb stuff that puts him and his team at odds, and they're like publicly fighting about it. Even just today, we're recording this on Wednesday, Lance Lynn was asked, and he supported Mercedes and said, I'm all for home runs. And Tony La Russa responded, well, Lance has a locker and I have an office. Like, dude, just stop. Just don't. If somebody brings it up now, as a reporter, you're going to ask the questions and you want people to answer you. But honestly, if I'm Tony, if somebody asks me another question about this, it's just easier to say it's over with because it's only getting worse.
Yeah, Tony just needs to learn to take a back seat. I mean, what do they always tell? Take the high road. And I think in this situation, you're just making yourself look silly. Like from you not knowing that runners start on second base in extra innings to these unwritten rules in baseball about homers, whatever. You know what? If you wanted the game to be over, tell them to give that guy 4 pitches and go to first base. Like, if you don't want him swinging away on a 3-0 pitch, well, tell him, don't do that. But at the same time, this is a major league player. And if you put somebody on the mound and they're throwing a pitch towards home plate, you have every right to swing at it. And like Lance Lynn said, if you don't like it, stop it. Tell the other team, don't throw out a position player out there. Tell them to put out another pitcher and we won't have this problem. So, I mean, I just think baseball, I love baseball. I love the sport, but I think some of these unwritten rules and some of the stuff that goes on just makes them so sensitive and soft. Like you can't celebrate after home runs. You can't bat toss. You can't show emotion. You can't do this. It's like, dude, the game is already boring enough, for people who aren't interesting. Like add some emotion to it, some flair, some drama, like give people at home something to look forward to. Like, oh, the last time they played, the bench is cleared and Tatis was dancing around third base. Like, I want to see what he does this game. Like, that's worth the drama. That's worth the attention. I mean, I'm all for it. Tony just needs to be quiet and just manage baseball. I think that's the best way to put it. Just shut up and manage,
It's just a mess because a lot of former players and a lot of people have said, listen, if you got a position player out there, pretty much anything goes. Like the other team is just giving up. Why should I give up? And
and they're laughing about that. Those position players come out there, they're smiling, they're having fun, so it's like, who cares if they give up a home run? It's not like they're going to lose sleep over it.
Imagine if this guy was heading in an arbitration year and he hits that home run to put him over 20 or over 30 or something. But what if he doesn't hit that home run? Well, you didn't clear 20 home runs this year, so maybe you're not worth as much. Well, what are you doing? You told me not to swing in certain situation. So the whole thing is dumb. The worst thing I saw though, which I obviously we got a soft spot for La Russa, but just yesterday was just pretty gross when the Twins threw behind Mercedes and La Russa was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Which you don't come out and say that. You got to defend your guys. Like I don't know what the Twins were doing. I don't know why the Twins are throwing at him when his own manager already kind of just laid it all out there and went on the attack. Why rub it in? Why also hit it? The whole thing was dumb, but Tony not sticking up for his guy was the grossest thing I saw in all of this. And that's like, come on, he should know better than that.
Yeah, as a manager, I mean, whether you always fight for your club, your players in public, always. All right. If you have a problem with something they said or some actions that took place, you address them in the clubhouse, behind closed doors, out of the public's eye. But in the public's eye, in a situation like that, you do not defend the other team and say, oh, we knew that was coming. Like, that's based. No, you defend your guys, and what they did was wrong in the seventh inning at that. Like, come on now. The game, like, is well out of hand at this point. So, I mean, Tony just another notch, of him just, being old school, I guess, and kind of, not being able to relate to the younger game and the younger players right now.
Well, we saw earlier in the year with the Cardinals, although it was a really dumb decision. What was it? The Reds? Whoever it was wanted revenge, or maybe it was the Phillies hitting somebody. They hit Arenado, and Mike Schild afterwards said, "Oh, we knew that was coming," but him and Arenado were on the same page about it, and it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got two guys on the different pages, and that White Sox.
Not to mention they came after him after Hennessy Cabrera made a mistake and hit Bryce Harper. Yeah. It wasn't like he hit him intentionally. So those unwritten rules of baseball are something else, man.
There's a lot of dumb stuff out there, but hey, it makes for good talk, and people are certainly talking.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And now we're getting out of the red hot seat. We're going to have a little fun with our Stump Corey section. Last week, he was 2 for 3, so trending in the right direction. Will he be 3 for 3 this week? I hope not, because I researched these questions, so I hope to stump him, but we will see. Starting off with this one. Who did the Cardinals beat in the 1982 World Series?
Oh, that's easy. The Milwaukee Brewers, who were in the American League at the time.
There you go. See, 1 for 1 so far. We always like to butter them up just a little bit. All right. First Cardinal player to hit 40 home runs.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. First to hit 40. That's pretty good. I bet. That's a good question. I don't know.
Starts with the R.
I don't know if they had a guy hit 40 until like.
His name starts with an R.
Oh gosh. Well, come back to that one.
Okay.
Give me the third one, and I'll come back to it.
Who was the only Cardinal to win the NL MVP in the 1980s?
Willie McGee.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, back to question number 2. First Cardinals player to hit 40 home runs.
I answered that third one too fast. I didn't give myself time to think about the other one.
I'll give you, okay, so his initials, well, no, that gives it away. I'm not giving you initials.
Give me the year. Give me the year.
Okay, hold on. I have to go back to my year. I didn't put that part in the notes. Hold on.
They didn't have a whole lot of big home run guys. I don't think anybody got there in the 60s.
Hold on. I had it in my notes. Now you're making me go find it.
Man.
I wrote it. I put this on my computer this time instead of putting it in my phone. The year. Hold on. Let me go find it. Now my computer wants to go slow.
I feel like I should know this. You said it started with an R. That took away a lot of names.
Okay,
I was going to
guess. So this is way before your time, 1922.
Oh, wow. Somebody hit 40 home runs in 1922. Okay.
He also won the Triple Crown.
Oh, his first name starts with an R?
Yep.
Well, Rogers Hornsby won the Triple Crown, but he hit 40 home runs?
That's what this says. He hit 40 home runs and also hit for the Triple Crown in 1922.
I did not know he hit.
Courtesy 40. Of St. Louis Cardinals history with that gem right there.
That's a lot of home runs for the 40s or for the 20s, like for
the
sure.
20s, yeah.
Yeah, that surprised me. I didn't know he hit that many home runs. I do know he won. I think he's the last National League player to win the Triple Crown. So there's a bonus. I think that's right.
Hey, that's 1920s. Okay, so I had to dig way deep into Cardinals history for that one to try and stump you. So we'll cut you some slack since you were not even thought of in 1920. Okay.
Thanks, Ahmad.
And that'll conclude another week of Cardinals Weekly with Corey Miller. I'm Ahmad Hicks. We hope to see you all next week.